Champ of Hoover Dam. The desert heat made Helen feel like she was a pancake in a pan. It sure isn't like San Francisco here, she thought out loud. Helen imagined herself walking by the bay at low tide. She could almost feel the cool, foggy breeze that she used to feel back at home. Helen's family now lived in Nevada. Her dad worked with a big crew of men building a giant dam across the Colorado River. That evening, Helen sat on the porch in front of her tent home with her dog, Champ. He was a stray dog that Helen had found when she first moved to the desert. "Time to pack up tomorrow," said Dad, returning from work. "We're moving to a real house in Boulder City." "A house, Champ," said Helen. "That's better than a tent any day." The next morning, Dad stopped the car in front of a little white house. "Here we are," said Mom. Helen and Champ shot out of the car and ran right through the front door. Champ barked and barked with excitement. "A barker," said the landlord to Mom, looking at Champ. "Neighbors won't like that." Helen soon fell in love with the new house. There was even a girl her age who lived in the house right across the street. The girl's name was Claudia. But soon there was a big problem. "You look sad," Claudia said one day as the girls walked to school. Champ tagged along. "It's Champ," said Helen in a whisper. "He won't stop barking, so the landlord says we have to get rid of him or leave our new house." After school, Claudia, Helen, and Champ sat in front of Tom Reardon's store, thinking. "What if we find Champ a good home right here in town?" asked Claudia. "Then you can still see him all the time." Excited by her great idea, Claudia ran into the store. Champ followed right behind her. "Say, mister," Claudia asked the owner, "do you need a guard dog?" Before the man could say a word, there was a huge crash. Champ was chasing the owner's cat. Cans fell everywhere. Helen grabbed Champ while Claudia picked up the mess. The owner didn't need a guard dog. "Too much excitement," he said. On the way home, the girls met Claudia's mother at the bus stop. Claudia's mom cooked food at a cafeteria near the worksite. Right away, Claudia asked, "Can Champ stay at the cafeteria?" The girls told Claudia's mom about Helen's problem. Claudia did most of the talking.
"Teachers and students, please prepare for dismissal."
Once Claudia was done with the story, her mother looked at Champ for a long time. Finally, she spoke. "Okay," she said, "have your dad bring Champ to the cafeteria tomorrow." The next morning, Helen walked with Dad and Champ to the bus stop. She hugged Champ for a long time. You're sure he can come home on weekends?" asked Helen. "That's what the landlord said," Dad replied, getting on the bus. "Champ just can't be keeping people awake all week long when they have to work." Helen watched the bus disappear down the street. She couldn't wait to hear about Champ's first day on the job. That night, Helen met her father at the bus stop. She wanted to hear all about Champ. Dad jumped off the bus with a huge smile. "That dog of yours is a hero, kid," Dad said. "We were drilling at the top of a cliff and Hank Thompson slipped. Champ saw Hank fall, found me, and wouldn't stop barking until I followed. I found Hank all stretched out, clinging to the cliff side. If Champ hadn't been there, Hank would have been a goner." From that day on, Champ was the worksite's special guest. The The workers on the dam said Champ brought them good luck. A reporter from the local paper heard about the hero dog and wrote a story about him. The news went all over the country. Champ loved being with the workers. He liked balancing on the rocks. Like a mountain goat. Best of all, he ate like a king every day at the worksite's cafeteria. Claudia's mother made sure of that. Of course, Helen got to see Champ on the weekends when he came home. In the summer, Dad even took her to the worksite to visit Champ. By the next September, the dam was almost built. People in Boulder City were buzzing with excitement. President Franklin Delano Roosevelt was coming to the dam. Everyone in town turned out to hear President Roosevelt. Helen's family stood right in front. At the end of the president's speech, Helen heard something that made her gasp. "Where's that dog, Champ?" President Roosevelt asked. I hear there would be no dam without him." Helen stepped out of the crowd with Champ. "Here he is, sir," she said as loudly as she could. The man in glasses smiled a huge smile as he looked down from the stage. "Woof, woof, woof," Champ started barking at the President of the United States. "I couldn't have said it better myself," the President remarked. The whole crowd started laughing. Then the crowd started to cheer. "Champ! Champ! Champ!"